So traditionally, Inferno used to be quite an awkward map for Mibr, because you always think back to the Major sometimes when they were under SK at times. Inferno was always one of those dodgy maps where sometimes they would look fantastic, sometimes they would look very woeful. And early banana control is the call from the get-go here from NRG. So they use the one flashbang that Daps did have. Straight up to the top, they get control at the top. Fallen, however, has boosted Stewie 2K onto the little boost at CT. So he's ready to pull back if needed here, and hopefully they're able to make use of this.
It's a nice setup, though, if the push does come back around. For the meantime, NRG making their move up towards top mid. Going to attempt to make that play in towards the A site. Looking quite timid, though, as they clear the angles. In terms of utility as well, Ben, it's very limited. It's only the one smoke and flash, so it'll be cast over now. That is the entire of the utility used, but they get the early entries. A double frag found as coldzera looks to attempt to make a play, but Ethan will be able to overthrow him in a matter of seconds, and it is all on Fallen and Stewie 2K to bail them out.
I can't feel it's an instant save, right? You've got some armor, some grenades even being saved for Fallen. He has a kit as well. And that setup, I can't feel like Mibr should have done better with it, right? You had a player in apartments in Tarik. Obviously, he had a CZ, close range angle. You think he has a good chance of getting a kill. Doesn't get the shot down. Fair falls on sight. coldzera, obviously, we saw him trying to get that little kill towards the backside of some of the players, but unfortunately, Ethan, right behind him, stops him in his tracks. And Fallen was being quite chancy with his peaks there. He wanted to try and get something, potentially being a bit greedy. Stewie getting pushed in the last few seconds here. Hoping to stay alive, does get the kill, and that should be it. He keeps his 100 armor, is the big thing, though. It means he can upgrade straight to a helmet for 350. And they could buy with that. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, though. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a P250 buy, maybe. Use Fallen's flashes to actually make use of it. But they're actually... Ooh, okay, so Fair's actually invested fully. They're going to buy. So we've not seen many teams go for the second round buy in the past few hundred rounds we've seen into this. So one scout, 3 CZs and a deagle. No SMGs. When you can definitely afford an SMG and Kevlar at the very minimum.
Minute and 30 seconds on the clock here. Relatively slower round coming out from NRG this time, obviously realizing they have the range advantage to play with. Don't want to fall into a potential trap or lose that lead to open it up.
Being very conservative with the actual default they've got here. Smoke will come towards Arch. coldzera and Fair, they're thinking about boosting behind it, although coldzera mainly has that grenade out, which he will use shortly after the flashes come through. Doesn't do too much though. Only 4 damage passed across. So NRG, they're playing it very slowly though. We've now hit like 50 seconds left. You've got top of banana control, you've got brackets control. Cirque will do that mini pit smoke. And he's going to flash his teammates out of apps.
Ooh, Tarik trying to get the spam down. It's a bit of a tag off there on towards Daps. Eventually Fallen will be able to finish him, but Cirque responds. Brezde as well with a nice headshot from the Kalashnikov to eliminate Tarik. And it is all on Fur and Stewie. In this position, they have a scout and a CZ. Not really worth going in towards the site. Stewie's going to fully commit towards the save already. Fur will slowly start to fall back, but does play for the exit frags just in case they come towards him.
So ultimately, it's not worth it to go for this round, but I'm trying to think how different in terms of tempered the team has been, obviously after the inclusion of Janko as their coach, which a lot of people are kind of curious about it, because obviously Janko used to be a player as well. Helped with that I-Nation side when he originally had Niko with him, Kassad. And moving into this coach role, everybody instantly thought he will try and motivate this team and make them be a bit more composed, right? Be more alert, be more willing to play the game at the same pace rather than getting bored or complacent or anything. NRG do lose Daps, obviously, in the round, who did have a Mach 10. Not too much of a loss, though. MLBR, they keep 2 players alive who did buy into the previous round, but I don't think they'll invest around that at all. So this should be 3-0, but the question is, will Stewie or Fair be able to do anything with the guns they've saved into it? It's a very low chance, I feel. They were planning to do the run boost across mid just then, but Stewie and Tarik didn't quite have the cohesion right there. Stewie did get the tag on Cirque. But that is a player who does have Mach 10, so chances are he was going to be used as a scout anything.
Stewie towards mid, going to go for the extension around with the scout. Gets the decapitation there onto Cirque, because he will be able to find that easy tag. So they have the manpower advantage so far into this round, but NRG definitely have more firepower of a much higher caliber. Most of MRBR, they're just restricted to the USP. It's only really Stewie and Fer that saved from the prior round that do have those weapons to work with, Ben. But NRG, they're still going for this very slow default. They like to try and run these rounds down. They realise that MRBR, although unarmed and not with a strong arsenal, still individually very talented and have a good kit to be able to deal with these rounds.
The worrying bit is here, so if they smoke CT, Fer still has that flashbang. So as soon as the smoke comes into CT, I can't help but feel like he'll go straight through it, although this time he decides to reposition. They come straight through before the smoke's blue.
Oh, coldzera with the USP for as well, giving it a helping hand with the CZ, and that's completely denied the push in, and you can see it's a bit staggered, it's delayed as well. Dab's already started to concede and fall back. Fugly, confused about what he should be doing in this position, does start to retreat. We'll find a fadeaway headshot onto Tarik, but at that point, Ben, they've got 20 seconds. They're going to beeline it towards the A site, but Stewie 2K will already be in position, and the young Stu can definitely assassinate with a scout.
He's already on the site. Misses the first shot, though Daps should be able to overwhelm him. This was a 2v5, now a 2v3. Fugly and Daps, they're stuck on the site. Fallen does have the smoke, he'll push forward with it. Daps takes him down. It's 2v2 now, coldzera, no chance whatsoever. And that's a round MIBR should probably win, if I'm honest.
It looked like it was set up for success for them, right? At that point, you've got two players left in really an awkward commotion. They didn't really know what to do. They rotate back round towards the site. Stu, you can't help but feel like in the majority of those rounds, he would find that first frag with the scout. This time goes down. It all falls into chaos. And NRG, they pick it up. So they go 3-0 so far. But MIBR, they finally got money to invest. They're going to go for the 4-buy now, as the M4s will be brought out to play.
The interesting thing about this, though, is no AWP available. So Fallen resorting to the M4. Stewie, who's in the past has been very willing to warp, especially in the previous Cloud9 roster. The same goes with coldzera, even. They decide to go with the full rifles to try and get involved into this game. The question is, will NRG go for this same style of slow default that they have been doing so far? Because even though it has been very slow and quite methodical in terms of map control, I wouldn't exactly say that it's been perfect thus far. One of the weird things as well, NRG, like that they have to factor into this game now. There was the mention that I'm a Pet would not be at the event. Like, he's had to go home due to, I believe it was family emergency.
Yeah.
So potentially that's, you know, a force that you've lost in your arsenal, right? So you don't have the coach there being able to tell you, you should probably take a pause now, you should do this, do that. You're missing that person who was there for you. And the question is, will that be a major factor? A lot of people, I'm a Pet's very highly rated by most of the scene.
It's true, and it's that more analytical approach as well that he takes to the game that could provide him a little bit more insight going into this. He would know when it might be worth them actually taking that time to look at it from more of a bird's eye view. Obviously, sometimes you can tunnel vision in if you don't use those pauses and start making mistakes off the back of not realizing where your errors are coming from. So it could harm them. As the push starts to come through, NRG going to make their move around and go for the push in towards the bomb site. Daps immediately hit by the Molotov, burnt to a crisp, and will be taken down by coldzera. Cold as well, keeping it going as he finds the follow-up headshot. Fugly taken down a matter of seconds, Ben. This isn't looking too fantastic. Fer will be the only one to try and deny them now, as it is the 2 versus 2. They're both on the side, but they have no health. But Cirque finds the frag, starts to step up massively with the AWP. We need to see Cirque at that level if they're going to win this game. Stewie comes back around. 1 versus 2 here. Tiptoes up towards them, gets in position with a wide swing, knocks the head off of the first man, looks for the second as well with the spam. Ethan was so low, he'll be able to pick it up. That's going to be the defuse coming through MIBR. Although it was a 1-on-2 clutch and they lost every other man on their side, they do still win that round, and it goes 3-1.
It was a very obvious round. We knew it was going to happen. 25 seconds left. NRG were at the top mid-brackets area. And they decided to go for that wrap, and coldzera, they held onto their grenades so well on the A site. They used the smoke towards apartments with 25 seconds left. The Molotov towards mini pit as well, when there was, I think it was 18 seconds left. It forced them into such a difficult issue. That bomb went down with less than half a second left. It was so close. And this is, I think that's the closest odds I've ever seen for betway odds.
That's crazy. That's actually, yeah, that's probably the closest we've ever seen, especially between these two sides as well. It's very interesting.
Definitely the closest I've ever seen myself. Mibr going by straight back into it. Stewie did save the AWP, so Fallen will be donning that. NRG buying as well. Ethan does have to drop an AK towards Cirque, though. So this is a very big round in terms of economy, because whoever wins this one, you got to be thinking they get at least another 2 behind it as well. So some pure aggression coming out from Mibr here. They only use the 1 Molotov to actually get control here. That's a really bold take from them. Normally you see the smoke incorporated into that take. You smoke the bottom with the Molotovs there as well. But I feel like that was a read, because they rotated off instantly. Fallen's now up in the angle. And Mibr, they've got this really nice setup they've been using towards the balcony, where there's 2 players actually on it. 1 player facing it, 1 player staying on it, which is what you can see there. Tarik and Fer, both on it. coldzera right below them. It could be bad news if this is an apps burst, that's for sure.
This could be very awkward indeed. They are grouped up and prepared for the side take. So they will go for the burst out through apps. Tarik falls in a matter of seconds, though. coldzera luckily will be able to trade it, and Fer starts to hit them with the assault and battery, but it's quickly snuffed out. And this side take towards the A site, once again, is quite messy. We've seen these very back and forth trades. Luckily, Fallen's able to step up and save the day as he finds 2 picks towards the end of that round. Tarik, we need to see a little bit more from him coming out towards A, though, Ben. It's a little bit shaky.
Yeah, that setup was built perfectly, though. Yeah, I incorporated the start off. It was like the 1 player facing the balcony. If he dies, you're never expecting another player up there as well. Obviously, coldzera did very well on the floor. Fer gets 2 himself as well. Very solid defense. And NRG, they forced straight back into it. They recognized there was only 2 players alive there for Mibr. We can force into it, we can reset them if we get this round win. The question is, what can they do? Because that A site, while the defense has been shaky, they've been winning the round still.
Now, NRG forced back onto just the pistol buy into this round. Only 1 deagle brought to the table. The rest of them just going to be rocking the CZs, favouring the automatic side of things. And Tarik, flashbang to go for a peek out. Damps just takes the firefight towards him. Does get a small sliver of health knocked off of him, leaving him on 81 HP. Fugly as well going to now exit with the rest of his team as they group up. Looking like this will be a late round take towards that B site, Ben.
The B site as well, if you think about it, look at the grenades they've got left, right? You've only got HE, 2 flashbangs. Although you do have the firepower, right? You've got an AWP in the angle, that's great. You do not have a smoke, you do not have a Molotov. No, there's only the 2 flashes on the AWP. As soon as he shoots, that nade was brilliant.
That's actually
so
incredible. Fallen as well, gifted the frag, Ben, as the peak comes around.
Just think about the timing on that HE as well. There was no inkling, no message of anything being sent. Molotov arrives, thankfully. Cirque gets the kill, and Stewie thankfully bails him out.
Yeah, this is good to see. The counter picks at least being picked up for the CT side. Fer will be able to overthrow Fugly as he will go down, and it will be linked together now at a 3-3 scoreline. So it has been equalised. And the cash has dwindled away for NRG as well. So Mibr in a position to start to get the ball rolling and show just what they can do here.
Yeah, that need, whether it's a case of them trusting each other's calls or just simply having a read as well. Because there was no noise towards Banana, there was nothing. Fallen was holding that angle. The smoke does so much damage straight off the bat. And as you mentioned, the money finally gone for NRG. So we see some deagles being bought, but otherwise there's no utility or anything for it. It's simply going to be relying on those picks. And this could be a nice set of nades if it does come through, but Ethan, he's walking it all the way down the corridor. Could have been much better, but look at this chase. Cirque. They're just charging through the apartments.
Oh, coldzera and Fer get a kill apiece. The remaining T's really going to need to try and buck their ideas up to win this round. It doesn't look like it is going to happen. Fugly, the only man left now, with a deagle and a dream. But he won't be dreaming anymore, Ben. His brain has been ripped out. coldzera going to be able to annihilate him there as it will go 4-3.
coldzera and Fer doing very well thus far, especially on that A site defense. coldzera potentially going back to that strong play that he had, in the previous years, I guess. 2018 has been a bit of a down year for him when he compares to what we're used to seeing from him. 4-3 now, Mibr take the lead. And NRG, they go for another buy. Cirque finally gets the AWP out. Question is, what can he do with it? The double AWP has come out from Mibr as well. Daps has to use the smoke, but I have to tell that there was a player stuck in the Molotovs he did use. although they will not know the damage that they have done to Daps.
Fugly, once again over towards the apartments. This time if he goes for the peek around, he'll be met by 2 people right to position because it's the double...
Oh, that's such a good tag.
The double lap setup, but they've been forced back. Huge tags there from the wallbang. coldzera and tarik take a ton of damage. Tarik's left much worse for wear, with just 25 HP on him. That was a nice start from NRG.
And tarik actually takes the AWP off coldzera there due to being so low. So obviously Bogdan's law in effect there. So the retake banana Molotov does come in. Ethan fights behind it but loses the fight. Stewie wins that. NRG have got 40 seconds to execute here until there's a matter of time where Mibr might have an extra man rotated over. Tarik gets a kill with the AWP as well. We need to see some big things from him.
Oh, Tarik with a double. Waits for some more. Going to go for the peek back around. But Cirque actually starts to push up. And in the meantime, Fugly's been able to find himself not 1 but 2 entries towards the site. So it is a 2 versus 3 here is the round with 20 seconds remaining. The teams can still win this one, but it is starting to slip away from them. Fallen gets the pick off on Cirque. Fugly as well, going to fall out of favor. The Stewie will take him down. And it's left 5-3.
Tarik, when needed, he finds those AWP kills. He mentioned we need see something better from him because that A-side defense, it was shaky, right? He was so low just then as well. He needed to make those kills happen. Otherwise, that pin sword maneuver was going to be coming through from NRG. And you can see the buy from NRG actually now. More of a half buy. They recognize we've got such a loss bonus now. We can go for a half buy and still be able to buy next round regardless of what happens here.
Oh, and this is all-out aggression as well.
Ooh,
First time we've really seen the fast push up towards B. Ben and the nades rain down like a mortar strike on NRG. It's not looking fantastic, but Cirque with the deagle, able to take it in his stride as he charge fast slides past Stewie 2K and towards the bomb site. And it is up ready to Fur and Fallen to save the day, but of course, the mighty duo will headhunt their way to victory. Beautiful 3K there from Fur, and another round picked up by Mibr.
Very fortunate that Cirque was watching the corner there because that flashbang, it would have got all of them. Stewie would have had an absolute mow down. 6-3 now, Mibr looking very solid now. Since they went down 3-0, 6 rounds in a row. NRG yet to use a pause as well. I imagine if they lose this one, that's around the time where you think we've had about 4 buy rounds. We probably need to talk things out because things right now, they're not working. And this is where Mibr, they're changing things up a bit. Cirque, he goes straight through them also and goes for a second pick.
And this is the Cirque we kind of want to see. The Bulgarian bulldozer, Ben. It turns into a bit of a cannonball at times. Once he starts getting confidence, he'll just mow them down.
Definitely, he's one of the better AWPers in NA right now. And Fugly, he holds that from Tarik. He just keeps going as well.
Fugly with a flickeroony, though. Hits him with a biff uppercut and lays Tarik out. At this point, it's now up to Stewie 2K and Fallen. The double AWPs. Can the big man do some damage? Switches out to the deagle to show his prowess with a pistol. Eliminates Fugly. As he waits for the push to come towards him. Drops the smoke to at least buy time. Nearly with a no-scope. It was seconds away from connecting. And Stewie is now left to try and salvage what is left of this round for Mibr. So 1 versus 3 if he opts to go for it. Smoke is still bloomed, so he has no vision. It allows them safe passage back towards the pit. So they have better angles to play with here on the post plant. Stewie remains scoped and slowly ascends up towards the site. The confidence is there for him, but would he really find anything? Peers in towards the angle. Ben spots out a player, a bit of a slow reaction, lands the tag. Oh, but can't quite get the frag with the USP. Will be able to connect it in the end, but it's too little too late. Circle shutting down. And that smug face has a reason why.
Yeah, very confident from Cirque. Obviously, Stewie, I kind of feel like he was being a bit too overzealous. As soon as he gets the tag, I'm thinking, okay, he might pull back because of that, right? Because you know you can guarantee that he cannot live in pit if they go for the save. But instead, he keeps going, keeps advancing. So this round is absolutely huge here. So Mibr, they spent all of their money back with the double AWP again, coldzera and Fallen. Whereas on NRG's side, they've gone for the same sort of buy. Cirque having that AWP. And to be fair, that round, in terms of the A site, it was constant aggression, 2 players pushing apartments, coldzera down mid. And that's an opening kill found by Cirque.
This is what I want to see coming out from him as well. This is that raw talent that he has in terms of just being explosive, but fueled by confidence. It doesn't really matter what you do to him. If you give him a bit of a leeway in the early game, Ben. You can never really snuff out that confidence. He just keeps on coming back for more. Finds the initial pick once more for NRG and opens up the round. Towards the A site, there is going to be 3 players grouped up. But can they really do too much?
Yeah, the A site defense has been at times shaky, but you've got to be thinking, you've managed to keep 2 Molotovs so far. Stewie uses one towards mini pit. First still has his available as well. That smoke will delay things quite a lot. NRG needs to think things through again. It'll be about 38 seconds on the clock before they go through, but Fugly gets the kill straight through it. I mean, that's one way to get advanced forward. Tarik does a lot of damage to 2 players as well. This is going to be a crunch on the site. 2 players left. They need to go huge.
Oh, Tarik with a headshot eliminates Ethan very easily, but there's a response from Cirque. This is what I was talking about, Ben. He's the one-man army, just leaps and bounds his way through this round of a tasty 2K. Fallen, forced to retreat. It's going to go 6-5. At this point, they're starting to equalize the scoreline. These rounds are getting quicker and quicker as well. The tempo's increasing. NRG, they're starting to get hot.
I've never seen an AWPer actually go for the wall bang to get the player stuck in pit there. Normally, they just kind of wait for them to peek, hopefully, on the headshot.
Not Cirque.
Cirque goes straight through the wall, makes sure Tarik falls over and does not get anything else in the round. And that A-site defense, I suppose it all starts off of, again, coldzera being picked. The second round in a row now where he's died first. The first kill, or the last round rather, he didn't need to make that play he did. This round, he just openly, he gets beat in the trade battle, really. So NRG get the 5th round in. Mibr, they cannot buy here. They do save the AWP. Fallen does have a flashbang as well, so if they were to make an aggressive play, Fallen might be the one to support them.
Depends what Fallen can really do into this round, though. Relies quite heavily on him if they're somehow going to try and pick up an upset win here. In terms of the investment, Fallen and Stewie both have a flash, so they can try and go for a bit of a pop play here, flash him out and go for something bold. The run boost doesn't really work out too well, as he did want to go for the wide swing at mid, but Cirque probably would have had a field day with that.
Yeah, Cirque was watching the angle, but I think the run boost would have gone beyond the angle he was holding. And obviously, if you're on the quad side peeking down to these stairs here, it's a right-hand peak, right? So you're always going to have the advantage. Fallen now holding that angle towards second mid, but nobody from NRG giving him a chance even. So ultimately, NRG, they've been consistent with the defaults they've ran at least so far, in regards to getting, whether it's banana and mid control or banana and apps control. And Fallen finally goes in for that peak, loses against Cirque. Cirque was so patient, he was waiting there all round for that peak. Finally given the chance, and he gets the kill. The Molotov actually does force coldzera to reposition a bit. Playing on top of the fountain, which is a bit of an unorthodox one. But they've actually left Fair as the only player here, and he's actually going to rotate towards B by looks things. If they were to make the play on the A site, it would be completely free. And Mibr, they recognise, if we were to win the round, we need all 4 players to be there. We'll gamble on this site. Unfortunately, it is the wrong call this time.
So this will be another round picked up for NRG. That's going to equalise the scoreline. And compared to normally how long rounds last in Inferno, this has been quite speedy.
Yeah, I believe there was a post that I saw on Twitter not long ago, which did actually go over the average round length of all the maps. Inferno was the longest by, I think it was 4 seconds, but it was still like 90 odd seconds per round. When you think about some rounds are very one-sided, they end quite quickly. But that just shows every round is going at least a minute and a half. Whereas some of these rounds, as we said, they're going quite quickly. The change of tempo favouring NRG currently, though. They will tie the score back up at 6-6. Quite worrisome for Mibr, though. They had that one big run.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries them as well, because at that time they were playing more of the drilled style of CS they like to run. You know, slow, methodical, just playing more standardized Counter-Strike. Whereas now NRG are actually going for tempo plays, being a lot more aggressive. It's catching them off guard. They're not really ready for it as much as they were previously. And finally, they need to try and take a tack time out here and talk about this.
I can't but feel like this will simply be Yanko pushing in for them to not be complacent, right? So they got to that 6-3 lead, playing the regular CS, what they know they do quite well. However, the last 3 rounds, Cirque has been completely dominating them outright. He's had 3 opening kills in a row. Twice on coldzera, once on Fallen. Sure, the last one not as crazy of an influencer in the round. But the previous two were absolutely huge. The question is, will the paws be able to do much? 6-6. Fallen should have an AWP on the floor. And he actually opts to go for a Molotov grenade instead of his armor. So he's going to have some grenades to add to it. He opts for the HE instead of a flash as well. Although when you think about the damage done at Banana so far, the utility damage, it's been absolutely crazy compared to what a flash might show.
Back into it now, round 13 here. There's a few rounds left to go at the end of this first half. One of these teams needs to start to take more of a dominant lead. Stewie 2K already tagged down to 66 HP. Fallen as well, taking a bit of a tag.
Some good return nades by NRG there. So because of Fallen having control towards Banana, they trust him to keep that site on lockdown. It means they can have the 4 players towards this side. And that's another fantastic nade as well. Half health damage to coldzera. So if you think about it this way, Mibr, they've not seen an opposing player yet, but 3 of them are taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's 150 damage done by utility damage roughly in a matter of seconds really compared to what they've actually got up to into this round. And there has been no chance for Mibr to respond, making them much more squishy. And we do see the late round push come in towards the site take. And NRG, they're still not committing yet as well. This is a huge change of pace. So they're changing their playstyle off the back of Mibr's pause.
So Fallen, he's playing the anti-flash angle here. So you can see Dap's about to throw a flashbang as well. They're using 2 flashes for it, so that does really well. Even though he's playing anti-flash, he turns one of them, the other one's straight in his face as well. He's forced to use that smoke, but look at the time, 30 seconds left. That Molotov will do nothing, it's smoked on the corner. But Ethan, influencing the map, getting killed there, and he gets another one! Oh. That B-site should be free though. There's only going to be the 1 player there. Fallen all on his lone time needs to go absolutely massive.
It feels like that's mad though. Never should have got away with a follow-up frag, and Fallen, a lot to do, but unfortunately, no head to do it with, as his block will be knocked off, circ towards mid as well. Normally confident to try and go for the wide swing in these ones, as coldzera will keep him on his toes, but blows him away. And it is only Tarik that remains trapped over by Minipit. This is going to be a 7th round now accumulated for NRG. And it was a smart change of pace as well.
Yeah, the ultimate man making the play there, Ethan. Like, it's fine, he gets that first kill, but the second one, he should not ever get that kill.
No.
The second one changes how that round is perceived, because you could see on Banana, the NRG players, they started turning around thinking about going to A. There was only 15 seconds left. Like, what is Ethan going to do from CT that you can't do or prevent by going to the actual site? NRG take the lead back again. Tarik will survive with his M4, but I can't but feel like this will be an eco round from Mibr because they've got so much round loss bonus built up here. They can go for a half buy, which on Inferno is actually not that bad. If you get CZs, some smokes, armor, you can win rounds off the back of it.
Scary factor was there going into that round as well. As we touched on, they physically had no contact with the T's, but had already lost 150 health across 3 players there in total, which is crazy.
So this is a different approach for sure. Stewie going for the Mag 7. So normally we'd only see it from fnatic, really. I think it's fair to say. fnatic very willing, JW. However, Stewie decides to bring it out on Banana, which means he's limited to a close range battle. And he actually boosts Tarik, and Tarik loses the fight to Ethan again. And that gun, Stewie did grab it, but the Mag 7 has actually been left at the half wall there. So if Fallen were to want it, he could go and grab it, but ultimately doesn't feel like he needs it. Minute 10 left. Banana seems to be the solid call from NRG here. They're going contact by the looks of things.
Ethan peeks out. Somehow they don't tag him. Ethan! He just doesn't take damage, Ben. This man is a myth, apparently. Been able to walk his way in towards the bomb site. They're going to lock this one down. This is another round now achieved. There is no way for coldzera or Fur. And I am just struck there, really. Ethan, it's these firefights. I feel like there's so many opportunities where Mibr should at least be killing him or getting that trade. But it's not happening.
It's been kind of crazy. He's winning every firefight. And as I said, he shouldn't be winning these firefights, right? It's fine for him to win the first fight every time, by the looks of things so far from what we've seen.
Yeah.
But the second person should be getting the kill on him, or at least, you know, damaging him, right? It was Stewie again, though. It was Stewie that fought him in Speedway. He lost the firefight. Ethan showing his worth right now. NRG going to take the 8th round here. And it will be moving on to the last round of the half. Mibr They were leading 6-3, lost 5 in a row since. So there's not actually much money on the side of Mibr either. Tarik's the only one who, well, I was going to say, Fair did have money obviously because he saved armor before. So Tarik should go for the full by himself. Just the one AWP in there. And that's being put on coldzera as well, which quite surprising. He hasn't been too great with it so far, I feel. He's been a lot better with the rifle.
Yeah, Cold definitely showing his worth for the rifling capabilities, but now with the AWP in his hands, can he do something outrageous as the bush will come in? Early contact found there for Ethan, finds himself a safe spot, but the Molotov is spread and he just doesn't realise, too little too late before the reaction physically comes out. Thought he was in his safe space, Ben, but it's been taken away.
That's quite disappointing, really. They should recognise immediately that the Molotovs, there's not going to be a gap between those. Especially as the longer they're down, there's like a second or two where they do get an extra little spread. And that's usually where you get caught out, but instead he was just caught in the original spread. So to be a man down that early on for NRG, this is different. Means they have to do things differently. Especially as Ethan was the man to actually open up the sites in the past few rounds. Thankfully though, with the way that they're playing Banana, so they're already playing so far back at B that, you know, in terms of info, they cannot play 3-2, or they have to play 3-2 rather than 4-1. coldzera does land that tag, and Third does the same towards quad as well. That's the bomb down, actually. A very awkward one here.
Yeah, this is a whole lot better for Mibr. Clean and clinical into the final round of the half here, but Cirque is still alive, and normally you can't count him out, but this time he will be shut down. An 8-7 half in favour of NRG. More to come after the break. Continuing on now of a matchup between Mibr and NRG in the battle of acronyms.
I suppose so, yeah. Although, what does NRG actually stand for?
I don't think it does it?
I don't think it does.
Isn't it just like...
I can't remember.
Isn't it energy? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? Like it's a play on words. If you pronounce it quickly, it's like energy.
Yeah, it might be. I'm not so sure. Ethan's actually gone for a HE grenade on his kit buy. So this is another rare one, although we did see a lot of utility damage in that first half from both sides. It's very interesting that he's going to be using that as the solo B player on the pistol as well. A lot of noise towards second mid, Daps and Breezy. They were thinking about doing that little boost there, which you see quite often from teams. But it's actually going to be a quad app setup, technically. 2 in the corridor, 2 in the boiler. The question is, will MIBR walk into it? If they do, it feels like an anti-strat, based on the way they're moving currently.
Oh.
That's 2 players spotted immediately.
Yeah, Fur gets the read on that. And they do immediately fall back. But will they expect the 2 players on the close balcony? Daps finds that kill on Fur. The fadeaway as he pulls out of there as well. So this has started off nicely for NRG. Stewie's been in position the entire time towards top banana, just listening and learning.
Yeah, so there's 2 sets of grenades bought by MIBR here. coldzera has a smoke, Fallen as well. 2 flashes on Fallen, although coldzera going for the Molotov. So as soon as the smokes come in, Ethan should get the call to throw the grenade. And that grenade is missed horrifically.
Yeah,
it's actually bounced
off the barrel.
really awkwardly, yeah. Although that was a very quick boost.
It was. Cheeky stuff coming out there from Ethan, but no real damage being found. It does not matter, though, as Breze will be able to backstab his way through the first man, eliminates Stewie 2K, and they look for more. Bit of a head bounce coming out as well, as the party patrol will arrive back round through Garden and execute out on towards the bomb site. 2 men grouped up there in close proximity. coldzera finds one. Tarik peeks out as well. And the crossfire is working amazingly here. It felt like that retake should have been NRG's to win, but instead MIBR, the defense looks absolutely bueno.
The fact that they've managed to get 2 players playing Dark, both without armor, and that players have peeked them 1 by 1, and they still win it somehow, is absolutely crazy. It was a 3v5. I understand that that site is hard to retake into it, especially with the USPs. But that needs to be better. And NRG, they fall straight into it. Look at that. That's a lot of pistols. No UMP, no scout. None of the SMGs we typically see when teams force into it. Just a lot of grenades and pistols to back it up. So I did briefly mention the fact that you can win rounds alone on this map just with utility. If you use it at the correct times, use it correctly, you can actually just force your opponent into a bad situation, make them take the path you've created for them. The question is, will NRG be able to do it? They've already used 1 of the smokes so far this round. They're trying to hold on to them towards banana. You can see they're not even biting on that either. Fugly's got it out ready, but Ethan's holding the contact.
Stewie once again just waiting here towards top banana. Minute on the clock, the rest of his teammates group up. They're going to go for the fast execute off the back of the utility usage. However, they are smoked off. Blind as well, but it won't matter. They push straight through. Stewie, the flick of the wrist looking tremendous there as he slaps back, kills Fugly, and puts them into a good position. However, this could still go either way, Ben. P250 prowess starting to come through. A couple of tags here and there. Ethan brought down relatively low, though. And the full rotate is not going to come around. They have a lot of armor, and they will concede this one. They don't want to lose any of the extras that they have on NRG. Just fall back. You've lost Fugly. You've lost the round. Save it for the next one, meaning that MIBR get themselves to 9.
So quite a nice call from NRG there, I feel, to actually accept that, you know, this round is probably a loss, right? You know, it might be a 4v4. You might feel like you've done some damage to some of the players. But retaking that site, they already know how difficult that is, that's for sure. They lost the pistol on a 3v5 when doing it. 4v4, they realised we don't stand a chance here. coldzera, despite being quite low, does still survive at the bottom of banana. So NRG, they get to fight another day with the grenades they still have as well. And if they're really willing, they could reinvest into some pistols or more, you know, grenades here as well. So Ethan rebuying his smoke. Cirque can do it as well, even though he does want to get the AWP next round. But doesn't look like he will this time.
NRG going into this round with just a collection of pistols, really, to give them a bit of an edge. However, MIBR, rocking the SMGs on both Stewie and Fur, should have a bit of a field day if they can get into a position to lock it down. Cirque on the elevated angle right now, playing towards close quad. If Fur does push out, he does have a bit of a crossfire setup, and Cirque most likely should find the frag. They're playing it very slow. Again, the bomb's going to be taken over towards banana as well. Cold just giving the game away a little bit as he makes his presence known, spamming through the smoke.
So NRG did quite well so far to limit MIBR's capability with their weapons. Although they do still have a smoke available on Daps. But he is on the site where they've stacked more players. They've left Breezy towards, be on his lonesome. So the same situation being used. Stewie going to use a smoke there, see if he can bait anything out from them. But it looks like A might be the call here from him, IBR. And unfortunately for them, that is the site they've stacked. So some early damage being given. Fair's doing that mini fit smoke, but they're running into 4 players at mid here. Molotov should do quite well to limit their capability. But that's 1 player lost already.
Yeah, that's beautiful from Daps. But the response from Tarik is absolutely monstrous. Slaying with the AK, Ben. But they just keep going back for more. It will not matter though as the flick comes around from coldzera with the wallbang to eliminate Fugly. They fall into the 2v2. But right now the health favors NRG. However, Ethan has been backhanded by coldzera. And it is all up to Breze now into the round. They will be able to get the plant. Grabs himself a UMP. Scurrying his way over as fast as he can towards the A site to try and do something.
Both players relatively low as well on the MIBR side. Breezy, if he gets some damage down in terms of economy here, this could be, it could pay dividends in future rounds. He's moving up, 2v2, 2v1 rather. No chance though. That angle, it's so difficult to check it simply because he's just bobbing up and down. If you don't get the timing, you have no chance, right? But ultimately, that was a costly round for MIBR. They made the wrong gamble in terms of sight. Alternatively, you could think NRG made the correct gamble, stacking that side. But this round could be massive. You've got 2 players on MIBR who do have a lot of money, although Tarik drops an AWP across. So you do lose some money there. The question is, how will Cirque play on the CT side with his AWP? Because on the T side, we saw him getting a lot of opening kills, being rather aggressive as well. Will he get the same chance here?
Waiting for the push to come his way. From Arch side, Cirque, not only is he flawless with aggression, normally can be a tenacious defender of the bomb site. Into round 19, he's going to need to be. As NRG starting to let this one slip and fall through the cracks. MIBR, if they win this round, they'll be put on a pedestal as they'll reach round number 11. They'll be relatively close to locking this one down on Inferno.
So MIBR playing this rather slow. Looks like it will be a mid take as soon as the smoke goes at mid. Arch smoke comes through. So as soon as that blooms, it means that Cirque is limited. He cannot do anything on the Arch side. Fallen still clearing the closer angles of it though. They could boost over the top, which is the pre-fire there. So ultimately, bracket control has been achieved by MIBR, but that's now only just achieved with 40 seconds left. Banana is not controlled by them whatsoever. Ethan is on his own there. No grenades though, which is why he has to turn back immediately.
Ethan, sitting in position now, waiting for the push to come towards him for the elevated angle. The smoke will go down. Ethan falls back, drops towards first oranges, but gets spotted. Stewie on a T side, able to do what Ethan was doing to him, Ben. A complete role reversal towards that B site now.
And you can see the call. The call was originally just to have Stewie send that fake. But the fact he's got into the site, seen nobody else, means that the bomb has come towards that site now. It should be going down. And it means that Tarik, he's trying to get even more exit kills, and Fugly misses the spray.
Tarik's having a field day here and still finding frags, Ben. Ripping money straight out of them. And it is only Cirque that remains, and he will have a hard task put on him now. He has to try and stay alive and keep the AWP. Won't be able to further the pre-fire, connects it. Debates whether or not they want the second, but they will not pick it up. And that'll be an 11th round now achieved for MIBR. And NRG thrown into a bit of chaos, really.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Ethan. If he stays up on top of the first oranges, there's a slight chance he gets the drop on Stewie, but you can't risk staying up there, especially if there was more than one player entering. But because you've left a player who has no grenades left on his own towards Banana, it means that as soon as he gets forced off at the top, he has nothing to fall back on, right? You can't smoke the corner, you can't Molotov behind you, you can't even flash. You're literally restricted to just whatever gun you have at that point. And NRG, they go for the half buy again. Not as many grenades available, and for not much to do there.
Oh, the frags are coming through, thick and fast here. Cirque with a CZ spam down, annihilates Tarik. And at this point, it's a 3-on-3. Cirque going to fall back towards the bomb site. He is the only defender of the A site. Now he's dead, Ben. Put in a coffin. Fugly and Ethan. Not too much they can really even do into this one. At this point, you essentially might as well realize MIBR are going to take this forcibly no matter what. That'll be a 12th round. And you can see the change of pace here from MIBR as well. They're in control of the game now.
It's very worrying, though, if you think about it ultimately, that this is NRG's pick. This is a map that they feel very comfortable on. 80% win rate in the last 20 games in the last 3 months on this map. It's one of their strong points. However, MIBR are making quick work of it so far. This T side, they're playing it slowly, and then they're able to switch the tempo up when they need to. Even more worrying when you think the next map will be Cash. And that's a map that NRG, they're not too great on it.
No, it's not one that really is going to be a strong suit for them. Fugly as well. Doesn't find the frags. Stewie going to be able to take him down. Stays alive barely on 19 HP at the end of that round. And this is worrying stuff. I mean, they can reinvest now. NRG, they have Cash at least. Cirque will be able to get the AWP back out. We have to try and see a bit more impact from him on that CT side. We saw how elusive and how incredible he was with it on the T side, being able to open up rounds pretty much over and over again. But on the CT side now, if he's not being pushed, he's not given any opportunities.
Yeah, he needs to create the picks for himself. Although, look at the grenade spam there. Oh. They expected Cirque to be going for that pick towards Bananas to force something into the actual round. Unfortunately, just does 21 damage to Ethan, who actually returned fire with his own grenade down the bottom as well. But they're actually in contact towards mid. There's a double play towards quad here from NRG. Cirque misses the shot, but it just leaves Breezy on his own there. In Boiler, should be able to get a kill. That's a nice pick to find. He should be able to exit.
Moving his way back around towards the A site. Fur trying to develop this play. That's the AK in his hands. Meanwhile, over at the barn, that is going to be Daps finding a frag on Tarik, but the response from Furlan is flawless. So okay, able to pick him back. Right now, Ben, they fall into a 2 versus 4. It's a pretty awkward spot to be left in. Sideline strike as well onto coldzera. Fugly will take him down, and Fallen already finding a nice kill onto Daps. Can he further that anymore? 45 seconds left on the clock. They have Cash to play with, and he seems confident to try and trickle his way in towards the site. Goes for the wide swing out. Didn't realize that Breze was hiding in pit, and he will get the elimination back onto Fallen.
I would have preferred to see Fallen potentially drop the AWP there and just try and rifle and lower the economy that NRG do have. Because obviously staying alive with 4 people, or winning the round rather with 4 people alive, means that you're able to build more of a bank. You don't have to spend as much money now into the, this round here. MIBR take a tactical, potentially to talk about what they want to do, because obviously that grenade stack didn't quite work out, and from there they didn't really have an idea of what they wanted to do themselves. So even though they went for that contact play towards mid, 4 or 5 of them, they got top mid, and from there they didn't really have an idea of what to do. Breeze threw a wrench in the works when he got the kill towards Boiler. Daps then did the same towards outside of Apps. And from there it kind of fell apart.
12-9 scoreline now. MIBR been in control for quite some time. But NRG, if they finally found the keys to success to start to work it back in their favor. Seems like we're on a bit of a technical pause currently whilst they resolve an issue before we carry on with this one, Ben.
Yeah, so ultimately, Cirque, we haven't seen too much from him in the second half so far with his AWP. But we have seen some decent movement from NRG when it comes to the actual riflers. MIBR playing it rather slow so far on the T side, but they know exactly when to switch things up, right? They know when to switch it up regarding whether it's the pace or the way they execute onto the place. NRG, they need to make sure they string some rounds together though, because Inferno as a map, the utility is so needed, right? Because you need to have the smokes, Molotovs, flashes, HEs, to make sure you keep control of areas of the map, such as banana, mid, and if you're able to use them correctly, you can limit your opponent's potential. And a team like MIBR, while they are a very drilled team, if we're able to isolate them and force them into your own scheme, I guess, you could give yourself a very nice chance of winning.
Seems like they are talking to each other here, potentially getting ready to unpause, and they will be able to, so we can carry on with the matchup now. Round 22. It's a 12-9 scoreline. MIBR currently leading, but NRG Looking like they might have found their form. Can they keep it in their stride, though? Will be the question that only time will answer as we delve back into this one.
So this is MIBR's bank depleted. Fallen the only one with a decent amount of cash. NRG, though, this is the same situation for them. So this round, in terms of the pure economic status, is quite a big one. And Daps is going to be doing the smoke, I believe, towards the top of Banana, rather than the actual one towards the bottom. And MIBR, they're really hoping that they're able to find Cirque on the map somewhere in terms of pre-nading angles. And I'm not too sure what that smoke's meant to give as a CT. I think it might be a one-way, based off the corner of it. But the Banana retake comes through from both Fugly and Ethan. And that Molotov is a big worry for Ethan. You can see he's trying to fight his way through it. Because if Fugly gets killed, there's no trade potential. But thankfully, he's given a chance by Cold. So although Fugly drops for next to nothing to start with, Ethan gets the trade, but he takes damage as well. So if you're MIBR, that's a great trade.
"50 seconds on the clock here. NRG taking a bit more damage on Ethan, but they are essentially in the same position here. It's a stalemate as they waste time waiting for the clock to tick down a bit, seeing if they can force any extra grenades out of NRG and what the final call will be made. The longer they take, though, this is going to be worse for them. As Cirque, he's rotating over. He's got into a position now where he can actually try and assist and help out towards this site with Ethan. Ethan goes into quite an outrageous position already to try and kick it off. Will go down to Tarik, and Cirque has so much to do and a very hard task stacked against him.
The plant will come down, but unfortunately for Cirque, that's not the correct spam. So it's going to be a 3v4 on this small site. Oh, that's a hell of a shot.
That's ridiculous. Then he snaps his wrist with how quick he flicked. Eliminates Stewie 2K, though, and puts them into a beautiful position. However, they will have to fall back and concede this round. They don't want to opt to go for it. It was a 3 versus 3, but not too much time already left onto the clock. And they realize their cash is so volatile here. If they were to lose that round and lose all of their players, that they would be really broken going on from that point. So MIBR going to get themselves a 13th, Ben. Quite close to locking it down here now on Inferno.
Yeah, it's getting to the point now where NRG, you can see, I'm going to show you a big round in terms of the pure money status. So you can see Cirque, he can drop towards one of the players. Fugly will probably have to buy himself here. But that shot from Cirque, it made my wrist hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it was that bad. It was crazy. Although technically not an impactful kill in terms of the round, though. We've been wondering where's the impact going to come from. Is he going to be able to do the same as he did in the first half, in the second half? So far, though, not had much of a chance. MIBR, the game plan appears to be to negate his potential.
Yeah. Because
we've seen the grenade stacks onto certain angles where you might see an AWPer. Hasn't quite impacted him yet, but you got to be thinking it's a matter of time.
But it's also the fact as well, it has impacted him in terms of him not being able to really be a playmaker. He hasn't actively been going for those bold pushes. Does get the first frag this time around, though. Stewie 2K tries to slide in towards mid. Tarik will respond, shuts down Daps. Breze with only one before he's traded back. But this is the Cirque we know and love, starting to get fired up, Ben. The cannonball ramming his way through 2 men. What more can he achieve as Fur will go for the bomb plant through the smoke. Couple of tags comes out. Fallen. And the 1v1 there will be able to overthrow Cirque's dominance with the AWP of his own. And Fallen, it's a prime time angle. If they do try and go for this, he should be able to smite both of them. Goes to the warning shot as they do flashbang over. They're in close proximity, but Fur falls, and it is up to the big man as they push their way back around. But he's toying with them, Ben. The KZ's paying off, and so will the no-scope straight in towards Fugly.
He's played this so well, and he gets the no-scope to end it all. That was so good. Like, the fact he's believed in his own sound there enough to jump onto the graveyard pillar, back down into the smoke.
Just toy with them.
That was their own smoke as well. That's absolutely crazy stuff from him. Fallen, when you need him to show up, he does. He's always been one of those players where, as much as we like to think he's a fantastic individual player, but sometimes he might be a bit off in his game. But when he needs to come up with a huge round, he knows when to deliver. And NRG, they fall straight back into it. It's an M4, MP9, 2 CZs and a Deagle. It's a pretty lackluster buy, if I'm honest. But NRG, they recognize we need to get into this game now, otherwise it won't happen. Mibr have a chance to get to match point right here. Ooh. The spam's getting ever so close to PC.
Yeah. Barely missing him.
But Fer is the only player towards apartments here. I wouldn't be surprised if he does go for this peak. But very willing to actually pre-angle it. And the trade is not, you know, Cirque tries to get the trade, but it's not there.
He was as quick as he could be, arrives on the scene, but it will not matter. Taken down in a matter of seconds. Daps as well, not really able to attempt to fight back against them. Ethan about to be swarmed, tries to go back in, played anti-flash, found the first frag with the adjustment as well, but will not get the follow-up frag. Goes down to Tarik, and the ship has sailed. This will be the round win for Mibr, and Daps thought he saw something out the corner of his eye, and it was a wild fur to assassinate him. 15-9, Ben. One round is all they require, and NRG have made it easy for them. They have no real money going into this.
It's been a very balanced effort from Mibr as well. Not one player stepping up on their own, right? So you can see the range there, 14 kills to 18 on the Mibr side. It's been a nice balanced team effort, which is what you want to see, really. The team used to rely on some players having a really solid game. Instead, everybody putting in a shift. And Cirque, he was given a chance there. I mean, that was such a late run up the stairs there. And not even expecting a player to be peeking mid.
It was delayed, but fortunately Cirque couldn't connect it. Oh, Daps with a push out. Cha-Cha slides his way in towards the apartments and empties a clip into Fer, so he will hit the deck. coldzera as well, supporting Tarik there. Does the damage for him, as they have been able to slide their way out towards the site. Breze in position. But what can he achieve? Can he make a mockery out of them with this MP9? They currently don't realize he's here. They haven't cleared towards pit. They have been able to get the bomb down. If they actually fall back and try and play from pit, his position can be so lucrative and worth so much. Gets one, shuts down coldzera, and this allows his teammates to start to push back in as well. They have the manpower advantage here to try and keep themselves alive in this matchup, but it's Fallen and Stewie that remain, Ben. They're going to jump on the bomb immediately. Pete comes back around, Fallen trying to clear the angle. Stewie as well from the opposite side, just spamming out warning shots, but they realize retaking this is not a likely opportunity. NRG will win the round and keep themselves alive, but for how long?
That was such a weird round. Right, so fine, right? So Tarik and Cold, they come out of that apartments. Tarik jumps straight out to the left. coldzera covers for him. Tarik clears sight, but for some reason he plants safe. It gives no opportunity for his teammates to back him up. They don't clear pit. It was just so weird. I don't see why there was such a rush to get that bomb down. Like, surely you just wait for your team to arrive and then clear out pit fully, kill Breeze. Cirque was stuck towards the arch side as well. He wasn't going to get involved around until later on. Just a very odd one right there. Mibr potentially getting a bit too hasty with trying to force this map to end here.
Yeah, potentially trying to force the issue and leaving themselves in a bit of an awkward predicament. 15-10 though, 5 match points to play with for Mibr, so they will still at least have a couple of rounds to rectify any mistakes.
And because of NRG needing to buy up some grenades as well, and some weapons, in fact, you see there's not many grenades available to them. Fer has been in charge of apartments all game so far as well. Daps might be holding the angle, but I can't feel like Fer, he's not a very good battle to take. And Cirque, not expecting the pixel angle there. I mean, it's a fantastic angle to find a kill from if you're a T-side player, but CT, you need to be aware of that.
Flashbang goes in towards Boiler, trying to delay the push. Slow and steady here as they start to make their move out towards the A site. Stewie smokes off towards the arch side, can try and expand around the Molotov. Takes a little bit of damage from it, but finds the frag, and nonetheless, that is the important factor. Breze, though, bails them out, finds 1 kill, but it is not enough. The trade comes back through. coldzera will shatter his skull and leave it just on Fugly and Ethan now to keep them alive here on Inferno, Ben, or they'll be kicked their way through to cash with Mibr taking the first map. Ethan responds by eliminating 1 man. Fallen gets the trade. Surely this is it. There shouldn't be much of a chance for the young gun into this round. Tries to make his move, dances over, misses the Molotov. The headshot will come out from Tarik. That's a 16-10 victory on Inferno from Mibr, meaning we will be going to cash. We'll break this map down after the short break.